Hello, I'm Jonathan Dunsky, author of the Adam Lapid Mysteries. On this channel, I often talk about books that I read and enjoyed, and today I'd like to tell you about New Hope for the Dead, Book 2 in the Hoke Moseley series that was written by Charles Willeford. The Hoke Moseley series is a series of 4 crime novels that feature Miami police detective Hoke Moseley, and the books take place in the 1980s. I previously reviewed Miami Blues, book 1 of the series, and I'll leave a link in the description to that review. And today we're continuing the story of Hoke Moseley in book 2, New Hope for the Dead. So in book 1, we learned that Hoke Moseley was a middle-aged police detective in Miami, down on his luck, divorced, with 2 daughters with whom he has virtually no contact, and that he is so broke because of that divorce that he lives in a sort of flea bag residential hotel where he gets a crummy room for free because he serves as an unofficial security officer for that hotel. In book 2, the one we're talking about today, Hoke is called to the scene of an apparent death by overdose. A young man who is a drug addict was found dead in his home, but as it turns out, he recently took a great deal of money from some people with whom he was for whom he was working, or in something in the drug business. He stole a few $1,000s, and that's something that Hoke discovers. And that young man lives with his stepmother, and she is someone who Hoke finds himself attracted to, and someone with whom he sort of has a natural rapport with. So Hoke takes on this case, which seems open and shut, but he still needs to go through the regular process of just closing this apparent drug overdose. But of course, there is more to that case than meets the eyes initially, and Hoke becomes more and more involved with it and with the attractive stepmother. In addition to that main case, Hoke is also given additional work by his boss. He is put in charge, or is made part of a team of 3 police officers who are now entrusted with solving or with going over old cold cases and trying to close them, because Hoke's boss in the police department believes that if his department closes a few cases, he may get a promotion. So Hoke joins up with his former partner, Bill Henderson, and with his new partner, Alita Sanchez, who is an inexperienced police detective, and they are this team that are supposed to start solving these cold cases. So Hoke works the main case of the overdose, and he and the others also deal with several other cases, very small cases, small investigations throughout the book. But the investigations are actually not really the main story in this novel. The main story is about Hoke's life. Hoke, as I said, is divorced, and he almost never gets to see his daughters. But all of a sudden, they show up on his doorstep in that crummy hotel. And it turns out that his ex-wife is getting remarried, and her new husband is not quite thrilled about her daughters, so she decides that she has had enough of them, that she has done enough parenting, and so she puts them on the bus and sends them to Hoke, and she herself is going to move to California with her new husband. This seems a bit strange behavior, it's strange behavior for a mother, but this is a common theme to all the Hoke Moseley novels. People do some weird stuff in them. They act sometimes very stupidly, sometimes irresponsibly, and sometimes selfishly. And this is part, I think, of the sort of dry, cynic humor that is prevalent in all four Hoke Moseley novels. So Hoke's daughters arrive in his hotel, and of course his room is not big enough to house them, and he is broke, and he's broke and barely has enough to enough money to feed and clothe himself, and now he is saddled with his two teenage daughters, who for some reason bear no resentment toward their father for basically neglecting them for many years. In fact, they seem quite happy to be joining him in Miami. Or I should say a little outside of Miami, because the hotel in which Hoke lives is outside the city limits, which also becomes a problem in his life because according to Miami Police Department regulations, all Miami police officers need to live within the city limits, and Hoke has sort of been avoiding this fact or avoiding this regulation, but now the department has started to clamp down on it. So Hoke is given a very short time in which to move from that hotel to somewhere in the city, but of course that means he has to give up a free room and to find somewhere either free or start paying for rent with money that he doesn't have. So a large part of the book is about Hoke trying to find a new place to live that will be right for him and for his daughters now, and also starting some sort of a new relationship with his daughters. And he is quite an unorthodox father. For instance, he has no problem with his oldest daughter, who is, I believe, 16. He has no problem with her dropping out of school and taking a minimum wage job. And he is very, he's sort of, as I said, unorthodox as a father in general, in the sort of advice that he gives to his daughters, in the things that he tells them about life, about men, about how they should live in Miami. So it's all a bit strange at times, but very entertaining. And the writing is crisp and quick, and the book is rather short, so you can just fly through it. In addition to all these problems of Hoke, his new partner, Alida, also develops a problem. She gets pregnant all of a sudden from a one-night stand, and until now she has lived with her parents, who are very traditional. But now, because she's gotten pregnant out of wedlock, her father has kicked her out of the house, and she also shows up at the hotel, and Hoke has to find her a room and then help her get back on her feet now that she's pregnant. So the book is part about his investigations and part about him trying to reassemble his life now with his daughters. And it's sometimes funny, it's sometimes thrilling, it's always well written and interesting. And there is a lot of dry humor, black humor, a lot of things. Nothing seems glamorous in these books. Primarily Hoke Moseley himself, who is overweight, unattractive. He has false teeth. He is someone whose life seems to be a complete mess. He is, and he has a lot of qualities that you will not admire, but for some reason you'll still like him. So he's quite an anti-hero, and I think that's part of the charm of all the Hoke Moseley novels. So as I said, there are a few elements to this novel. There's the main investigation of the drug overdose. There are the side investigations, the small investigations into cold cases. And there is what I believe is the main part, the Hoke trying to get his life in order. And while this is not a typical crime novel, it's quite entertaining and enjoyable. And as I said in my review of Book 1, Miami Blues, I listened to all 4 of the Hoke Moseley audiobooks one right after the other. And this is something that is rare for me. I rarely read or listen to more than 2 or 3 books in a series without taking a break in between. So that's how much I enjoyed these novels. And sadly, the author Charles Willeford passed away as he was writing book 5. So I enjoyed New Hope for the Dead, and I can recommend it wholeheartedly. You can find a link in the description below to where you can find a copy of the book. And let me know in the comments if you've read this novel or any other novel by Charles Willeford. And until next time, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.